On this edition of Check 6 Aviation, we're finishing up the interior. Welcome back to Check 6 Aviation, my friend. This is one of the final steps in finishing up this massive project that I started two and a half years ago. The life of being an over-the-road truck driver. I'm telling you, it's always on the go and not enough time at home. But since I came home off the road just around Halloween 2022, been able to make some massive progress on this. So finished up on the last episode. If you haven't watched it, click the link. Where is it? Yeah, click the link up there and go watch it. It's pretty simple, but we finished up the exterior trim on everything. I still have a couple of little projects to do. I did get the fascia boards closed off, so there's no more sunlight coming in. And I finally was able to hang my windsock that I bought at Oshkosh 2020. I do want to do some trim around the windows, but that can wait. Not windows, not plural, singular, because there's only one window. But that can wait a little bit, as finances permit. I will go ahead and trim the lip off from the fascia boards underneath. But now, as the Beatles have said in one of their more famous songs, I get by with a little help from my friends. I had a friend of mine come over who knows way more about drywall than I do. And and we taped up everything. We got everything done as far as taping goes. And you'll see here in a moment where we come over and we finish this all this off. The next step in of the process will come a little bit later in this video. We are going to be laying self-leveling flooring compound, or at least I will be. That video, so this video is probably going to be at least a couple months in the making because of finances. I mean, self-leveling flooring compound is not cheap. It's about $50 a bucket. And I'm gonna need at least 5 buckets, maybe 10, depending upon how thick I wanna go. 5 buckets would get me an 1/8 of an inch thick. 10 buckets would give me a 1/4 inch thick. And I'm not sure how much thickness I need for this flooring. But by the time I get everything taken care of, as far as everything purchased, you know what, I just might go ahead and just do a 1/4 inch. I don't know. It'll be at least twice the expense. Be about $500 for the floor. So, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But once the floor is done, I can start putting everything in the workshop. But I think in the meantime, the more pressing thing before the flooring is connecting up the workshop to power. So you'll see me get like 5 lengths of PVC conduit. I'm going to go 1.5 inches. It's been recommended that I go 2 inch, but the price difference between 2 inch and 1.5 inches is quite significant. And then, boom, we'll have lights inside that are not powered by an extension cord. Yes! So, for now though, I'm gonna fill in all of these little screw holes. Tap in all the fuzzies and fill in all the screw holes. That's what my friend Gary, who you'll see on camera here in a shortly, has said that I need to do. So let's get to it. All right, well, I have spent the last 10-15 minutes, actually more like 30 to 45, just kind of going through, doing some inventory on the plane, which is always recommended anytime you get a new kit from any plane manufacturer. Make sure that everything is there. But yeah, I've been clearing things out, putting things outside in preparation to lay the floor. But for right now, I need to tackle getting this old conduit out and in preparation for running the new stuff and the new wires and connecting this all up to power. Now, with that said, I did come across, after some coaching, some mistakes that I had made in the wiring. For example, I had both the hot wire and the neutral wire on the same side. No. The neutral wire goes on the silver screws. The hot wire goes on the brass screws. And just by chance, I said, you know what? Let me check that one. And of course, I had it wrong. So what would have happened was, if I had connected this up to power, it would have tripped the breakers. So simple fix, and I know I would have been scratching my head saying, okay, why is this not working? Thank you very much to my friend Greg, who has been hard at work inside here. Normally, you might offer someone a 6-pack to do something like this. I don't know if he drinks, so I'm just going to take him out to dinner. But the next step is sanding it smooth and making sure, you know, he does some really good work. Of course, he used to do this professionally. So with that, back to work. All right, I was temporarily considering just cutting this out and making it easier to run the pipe, you know, the conduit all the way down. But then I thought, wait a minute, with this here, and I know where this is going to give me somewhere to put in a screw here and secure that to the wall better. Now what I'll do down here is I'll take a piece of 1x and put it in between, so it'll give me somewhere to screw in there. And then, of course, just tape and, you know, cover everything up, you know, do the repair. All right, with the pipe installed, or conduit, excuse me, we gotta get it right here. With the conduit installed all the way down to the outside, I can go ahead and close up and patch when I cut out the other pieces up there. And let's get back to work. Oh, one more very important thing, especially when dealing with electrical, you want to make sure that everything is properly grounded. So I have just drilled a 5/8 inch hole, and I have this ground rod that I am pounding with a 3-pound sledge all the way down into the ground, and that will be connected to the ground bus up here in the panel. So back to it. Well, now that that's in there, now I have seen other videos where it said I had to pound it all the way down. However, I've been told by my friend Chris that I can actually cut this as long as it's down pretty good and it's making great contact with the ground. see, I'm pulling up here, and this thing is not coming up. It's not coming out. So I figure if I cut it about here, leave about an inch sticking up, it's not going to mess with any of the additional stuff I'm going to do with the drywall patch here. And I've got good contact with the ground, and I'll go ahead and punch out my hole in the box for my ground wire. Actually, it would be over here, and run that sucker down, and boom, I'll be clear to close up, and I'll be good to go as far as code goes. When you feel like Popeye because you've just swung a hammer seemingly 10,000 times, putting in a grounding rod, you almost want to say, well, blow me down.
One eternity later.
All right, it's been quite a long time since I've been out here in the yard, and mainly because I needed to go ahead and take care of some family stuff, take care of some past due bills. You know about those things, I'm sure. And also accumulate all of the other materials that I was missing. But like, for example, the 9 bags of self-leveling concrete. Yes, I actually switched brands that I was going to get on recommendation from the guys at Lowe's. And plus, I got all 3 of my wires, of my cables, to run back to the power pole back there and connect up this workshop to power. So in preparation for moving to do the floor in here, I know I don't want any of the self-leveling concrete to kind of drain out when I get to this portion. So I've put in a temporary board that will serve as a stop for any of the self-leveling concrete. Now, I do have someone coming over to help me get everything out again, and this time we're going to go ahead and take care of this. We're going to finish this up probably in the morning, but today it's all about connecting this up to power. So let's get to it. Alright, so if you remember from the episode where I actually dug the first trench, and I'll post a link up in the upper right corner of this video, I had used PV conduit that was already way too small. So now we're going to go ahead and redig everything that I've done so far. And replant the grass. It's a Sunday here, so I don't have to worry about code enforcement coming around and saying, hey, what you doing? You gotta stop this. And besides, this is under 200 square foot. Building permit is not required for the structure by itself. If it were movable, this is not. And also if it were not connected to power, which this will be. So eventually, I'm actually in talks with the property owners that we're renting this place from, to purchase this land, this house and this lot, and we'll see where that goes. But for now, we're going ahead and we've got everything. I mean everything, every little last piece of the puzzle to go ahead and get this connected to power. Hopefully today. So less talking, more working. All right, just that little bit of time lapse has actually been about 5-10 minutes. Let me tell you, this was much easier going in than it is coming out. Of course, I'm doing this by hand, and by hand this time is much easier than it would have been if I had tried it before. But before, I had mechanized help. I had actually rented a mini excavator. All right, so I had some help. Not my wife. I had my buddy Dave come over. You've seen him in a few other videos, and help me move everything out of the workshop here. I was going to try and run wire through there, but we're having some issues, and that patch that I did to increase the diameter size, well, it looks like I'm going to have to do it all over again. I'm going to have to cut in there because we tried fishing some wire down through here, and it wasn't good. It wasn't going through. I don't know why. This is, here, let me show you. This is also loose, spinning around, and that should not be the case. So we fished some wire down in here and pulled it back out and got some insulation. So that tells me that what I was hitting was probably the bottom plate, the base plate. So something's not right, and it's got to be addressed. So delayed once again, but that's okay, because once it's done right, we won't have to do it ever again. Crossing our fingers. So let me show you what we've got going on here. What the plan is. We're going to tackle the floor. We are going to finish this floor. We've got 9 bags of self-leveling compound. Mapei, I think, is the brand. I think that's how you pronounce it. But before we do that, we have to apply this polymer additive. It's kind of like a primer. Think of it as a primer for, like you would put primer on the walls before you paint. At least you should. But with this, it is a must. Otherwise, the self-leveling compound, the self-leveling concrete will just eventually chip away and come up, and you're starting from scratch all over again. And that is not something that I want to do. One and done is always the goal, because I'm walking on this floor, the subfloor, and I can already tell that there are some spots that are not level, especially right in here along the joints. I know right in here I have a center piece. But actually, I've got a 16 foot 2x4, and a 16 foot, and it's all supported with center braces. And I can tell that there's a bit of a crown here, but we're gonna get this thing taken care of. Let's get to it. Now, when you're applying the primer, I'm told that you want to use a roller. You want to roll it on, and you want to use like a concrete primer roller, not something that is made for paint, such as these. Let's see. Such as these. As you can tell, these are not as bushy as this one. This is a big old honking fat one. And we're going to be rolling all of this tonight, let it sit, and start pouring concrete flooring in the morning. All right, major accomplishment. It is the next day, but we've got all 9 bags that we had set over there mixed. I've got my buddy Dave over there, helping out with the pour and the mixing. But check this out. Okay, so I do have to go in there and kind of squeegee into that couple of cracks there. But we just got the last bucket poured, and we've got about maybe 9 more minutes before this thing starts setting up. So let's get back to it. So another thing that I just did was I covered the entrance in plastic, because while I was pouring the floor, I went ahead and looked down and I saw a moth. on the floor. And I was like, okay, I gotta rescue this guy because I don't want him in my floor. And this will hopefully help keep the bugs out. It is supposed to get a little windy here in Abilene in the next 24 hours, so fingers crossed. All right, so we've chosen finally the two colors that we're going to put up on the walls. Spun gold on the right and Conbrio on the left, which is really close to the color that I used for the exterior. But we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a two-tone. My daughter Serena and I taped up everything over here, all the way around actually, and I went ahead and painted. I do have a couple of areas to touch up, like in the corner here, but everything is looking good. Looking good, looking good. Whoa, 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 back up. Hold on. Okay, so let's stop right there. I tried out the spun gold, and I wasn't quite happy with it. It wasn't what I was looking for in terms of the vision. It was a little bit too dark. So we've started going over with primer, and we've even got also the Conbrio. That turned out looking like hot pink, and it was, to me, more of a hot mess. I mean, I got a little bit on the floor because some of it spilled, and yeah, even now it looks a little bit too hot pink, and I'm glad that I changed it. So we are going with this cut ruby here and the sweet treats for the upper portion. I was looking for something more of a coffee with a lot of cream color, and I think the sweet treats will do it. So we're back out here. We're going to get this done. We are making progress, and before you know it, we'll be laying the tile down on this self-leveling concrete and moving all of this hot mess back inside and getting it organized. Oh, I almost forgot. This was done and primed over, but as a matter of fact, you see where I had the paint, it actually painted, but I was having trouble getting my 1/0 cables for power to the sub panel here down through the outside. So I had to cut into here, and I patched it up all by myself this time. No help from Gary. And yeah, it came out really good actually. For, there's a bit of a spot right there where, hey, it's amateurish, but hey, it's okay. But anyway, what had happened was I had a double female joint in the conduit, and apparently I didn't put enough conduit compound, the PVC compound, and it's separated. So that's the reason why I was getting insulation through when I was trying to fish through, when I would pull the fish out, the fish wire out, and I was like, I gotta cut into my wall again. But I'm confident now that if I have to do it over again, yeah buddy. And panel is connected. We're one step closer. All right, we've got some major progress. I'm so excited. So I've got the walls painted. Yes, there are a few areas that need touch-up work over here. This is a note to everyone who is an amateur painter like myself. Make sure your walls are dust-free, especially if you're going to put painter's tape up to do lines on, because what'll happen is that the paint won't adhere to the wall and it will bubble up underneath the tape, and this is the end result. But what we've got going on here is that I'm going to run another few courses until this box runs out, And then I will be able to move all of this stuff back in, including my air compressor. Actually, my air compressor can go in there like almost right now. So it's kind of moving day just before I have to go into work. So back to it. Now, finally, we got a little bit of an accent going on here. A little something bright to offset the transition between dark and dark, or dark and darker, rather. And I couldn't be happier with the result. It's coming together. It's coming together. We'll be building an airplane out of here soon. Well, you'd almost swear that this is Jimmy's world around here at Check 6 Aviation, because if you see behind me, I've got tile. I've got the floor tiles down, but you see, there's seams here, seams here. They're all uniform. Turns out it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be more random, similar to this, where I've got a seam here, seam there, kind of offset, and also they're supposed to be flat. See, here it's got kind of a bow, and I figured out by, shockingly enough, actually reading the instructions, that a heat gun and some very strong adhesive tape, or adhesive rather, like right there, works wonders. So we're actually in the process of moving all of this over. You saw that I've got this wall already completely done, and moving step by step each sheet, each tile over into its final place. Alright, so unlike Jimmy's world, we actually believe in measuring twice, cutting once. See, I've got a bit of a notch here, about a 1/2 inch over and 3 3/4 inch this way. So I'm going to, instead of doing a half-ass job and doing a full sheet over here and doing a smaller sheet here and creating an additional, we have something that we need to fix over here that kind of bubbled up in the sun. Just noticed that. Yeah. Probably didn't set quite right all the way yesterday. These things will happen. But unlike Jimmy's world, we're actually going to cut out a notch here, and instead of doing a half-ass job and having a kind of like what we did here and having a seam go all the way across, we're actually going to do this the right way and make it look somewhat like a brick pattern, and make it look like it's supposed to, like a professional would do it, even though I'm completely an amateur at this. Well, that didn't go as planned. Look, I took too much off. So, we try again. All right, well, you get the idea. I don't think I really need to show the rest of this, but it's getting done, and this is one step closer. Right, Serena? One step closer. Yeah? Yeah? One step closer. Come on, be excited about it. One step closer.
I didn't sign up for this, okay?
to building an airplane. And she's my child. She doesn't need to sign up. It's called family recruitment. Okay, this is a very exciting time, also a very nerve-wracking time, because, okay, so you've seen me dig up even at night. I even did this at night under a light. The old conduit, which was a little bit, and put in the right size conduit, which is 1.5 inches, all the way back here to here. Now, what I did before with the 1 inch conduit was I just went right up and underneath here. But what I did this time is I went and got 2 elbows and came up along the side. So this is a very exciting time. I've got this all wired back up in here. I won't have to take this cover off ever again, hopefully. But this is also a very nerve-wracking time because I don't want that to go up in flames from an electrical fire. So let's see. Okay, so far so good. Of course, all the breakers in there on the sub panel are off, so let's close this up. Boom, done. So if you have been following along on my Instagram feed, go see it up there, go see it up there. And as you see my eldest behind me, my camera girl sometimes, then you have already seen this because of my Instagram stories, my reels actually. But you know, after some very long nights, marathon hours, and you saw me moving in, by the way, I know you did. We have completion. We are finally ready to build something, but right now I'm going to hand the cameras off to my daughter. Yeah, good. All right, come this way, because this is the moment of truth. Because, all right, so first one we're going to do is the air compressor light. Okay, so let's see. See if it kicks on. How about the lights? Air compressor might have some issues. Not some issues, but I'll have to work on that. But we should have lights. Oh! Woohoo! It's alive! Oh my God! 3 years. 3 years. This project has taken me to do, and oh my God, the feeling of elation right now is like 15 on a scale of 10, because we're gonna be building an airplane. I can't wait. So we're gonna cut this video here, and like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, tell your friends, share this video, especially if you know anyone who is even thinking about building an airplane or is aviation minded. Then we are going to start building. The next video is going to be the Vans aircraft light box, because that is going up on the wall right there. So thank you for watching. I can't tell you how excited I am to begin this project, to begin this journey, and share it with you. Peace.